Welcome, everybody, from the heart of Lovecraft Country and the birthplace of American religious liberty. This is SHANTH ENJETI. You are watching SHANTH ENJETI Art, and we're going to be doing some painting today. I hope you guys are well. Let's see who we've got here in the chat. I'm sure we've got some fantastic people, even perhaps some channel members, dare I say. Dare I say. We do, of course. We have the Alpha, the Omega, the Numero Uno channel member, Stephen Rockwood dropping more links than Oscar Mayer, folks, and we're going to be doing some traditional painting today and having a good time. What is up, Devil Flyer Momentum? It is great to see you, my friend. Hello, Katie. How are you doing? Hey to you as well. Rudolph is here. It is great to see you, Rudolph Valentino. I hope you are doing well. Channel member Cranberry Langers. Gosh, I went back to my old ways, didn't I? Cranberry Langers is in the house, and I'm going to work on that. Once you learn something wrong, it's tough to correct it. We've got Earthmind in the house. How are you doing? Hi, Shanth. Hi to you, my friend. I hope you are doing well. And Hostman's Lounge. It is great to see you. Hail to you, brother. I hope you are doing well on this fine Friday, an unusual time. But due to the excitement of a trip to the dentist, I was not streaming yesterday. So I am on the mend, although I have much more dental work ahead. And I wanted to stream because I miss you guys, and I feel like it's important for us to be doing this. Oh my gosh, Stephen Rockwood, you maniac. I got Spring Ball number 1 and 2. My goodness, my friend, that is such a trip. That is such a way back machine for me, and, you know, in that sense, let me see if I can bring the saturation down. I look a little orange there. In that sense, the thing that's kind of cool about, oh, I see why. Oh, that's weird. That is weird, as they say. One of the things that's interesting to me about that is it just shows how long I've been at this. My brother, Sean's perfect time for my drive home from work. I hope it was a great day, and I hope it gets to be an even better Friday. Jeremy Eisenfire, my brother from another mother, it is great to see you from New England, also in Lovecraft Country up here. It's going to be good dental stuff once it's fixed, but we gotta get it sorted. You know how it is, Cranberry Langers. You know how it is. If it's we're just spinning plates here, but I've been sitting around working on a bunch of different stuff. Got a bunch of packages off in the mail. Unfortunately, I just learned from the Gemini mailing supply company that one of my packages that I need has not shipped yet. So that is one of those just many things that comes up. But I am working on today. I wanted to do some painting on the first page of Nosfero 2, because one of the things that I had an interesting conversation with my brother, Eric Weathers, the letterer of Nosfero the Crypt Walker, and also the artist and co-creator of Battle Brick Road, which Battle Brick Road is in the description. I was talking with him, and we were talking about work. We were talking about, you know, the importance of, that's not what I wanted to do, the importance of showing good and showing heroism in a powerful light. And Stephen Rockwood dropping more links again. There is a link to back Battle Brick Road 2, where I'm going to be doing a piece for the print book that's there. And also, I believe Stephen Rockwood also put a link in the chat, if I can find it, for the Lucent 2 Painted Death. Make sure you check that out as well. All of my brothers have got links to their stuff in the description here, so make sure you check it out. And the thing about it is that I've been watching a lot of documentaries lately, and I watch documentaries because it's something I can do while I'm working, while I'm packing up, you know, books and making plans for the sign-up list for Nosfero, the Second Chance campaign, as well as the art edition. That is going to be up on the 20th for a very particular reason I'm choosing that date. And my plan right now, I haven't got the exact date, but my plan is to launch the book on the anniversary of when I handed in my letter of resignation to academia. And it's of profound significance to me. It was a turning point, and it was a leap of faith, and it's why we're here. But as I watch these documentaries, one of the things that's been really striking to me, particularly the ones regarding Bram Stoker's Dracula, Abraham Stoker's amazing and timeless work, is how tirelessly people have worked who claim to be historians or literary historians to completely redefine the meaning of that book such that most people don't even know what that book is about. That it's about fellowship between heroic men. It's about faith triumphing over evil. And it is a book about what is worth fighting for. And so much work has been done to make it fit within the postmodernist, neo-Marxist sort of mores, that lens through which everything is currently viewed. I've been thinking a lot lately about, with my copious amounts of free time, but I do think this stuff I can find time to do it, that there needs to be more work done and more work putting together documentaries and videos showing what these books were actually about. Because if we don't have a counter narrative there, people don't even read the books and know what they're about. Marcus, how are you doing, brother? It's great to see you. How have you been? And we have got channel member Ferris Comics in the house. It is great to see you. And of course, Cranberry Landers dropping more links to the Lucent. I love it. And listen, guys, the more often, more better. And speaking of channel members and rock stars, my brother Diesel is here. Hail, Diesel. How are you doing, my friend? I hope everything is going well for you. Always puts a smile on my face to see you, brother. And so, yeah, so I've been thinking about, Lovecraft's work and what that does, and, and all of this stuff. But we've really lost sight of the Western canon and the classics of literature. And when I was, again, just to go back to 9 thoughts ago, when I was talking with Eric Weathers, we were talking about this idea of good being portrayed in artwork, not like it is in great literature or religious scripture, as being very weak, as being very staid and overly sanitized, and the heroism is missing, and the power is missing, and the guts of it are missing, and that it's really important for artists to hone their craft so that we can show it in its full potential. And this is the introduction of a character in Nosfero 2 that is where I got the little tagline on this video. Hell trembles in his wake. That is the idea of what heroism is to me. It's a very powerful good, not a pathetic good. And we've got awesome one. Excuse me, my brother here. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh. Just in time was watching Vic Magnolia on Carrie Smith's channel right there. See, there you go. Let me see here. And we've got channel member Simply Green. Morning. How are you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, Tom was the good guy. There you go. This is an awesome one. You guys are killing me. Yeah, it's true. It absolutely is true. That's true. Yep, Uncle Tom. I just had this conversation with somebody today on the phone. And it's something that I know Gabe is fond of saying. That's true. Uncle Tom means the inverse of what it was intended to mean as a character. It's the misuse. And that really is the great skill. I used to live in Valhalla, New York. I love it. Paulus Arts, it's great to see you. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? And Cranberry Landers, you're so right. Is that Dracula is the villain, full stop. But the reason why Dracula has come to the center of that story, why he's the center of that story and whatever, is because we've done such a terrible job portraying the heroes of that story. Not since, for those of you guys who are Hammer horror fans, and I would like to say I'm a recent convert of, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, which is very recent if you know Hammer horror. But a friend of mine, Michael of the Choice Voice, who has an incredible YouTube channel and is a big champion of the Hammer horror films, and shout out to him in Oklahoma. Michael, his videos introduced me to Hammer horror, and if there is a better personification of powerful, intelligent good than in movies and cinema, than Peter Cushing's Van Helsing in those movies, I don't know what it is. And to juxtapose that with Anthony Hopkins' portrayal of Van Helsing as kind of this, crazy, cruel, whatever. The novel is for starters way better, but what happens when you make the villain into the hero of this story? As I've often said, when Francis Ford Coppola was making that movie, he said something that struck me as really peculiar. Oh, and yes, Christopher Lee is an outstanding Dracula. Let's not get it twisted. We need a great villain in these movies. Lurking indeed. Yo, Cran, everybody saying hello, hello. Let me see if I missed anybody. Okay, I think I got everybody. And so what is interesting to me about it is he said that he saw Dracula as a Christ-like figure. And his movie comes from that point of view. And I remember thinking, regardless of what one believes, that is a absolutely... not only is it a misreading, it's a misrepresentation. Because, and I will simplify it in terms that make sense, the central theme is of Christ is one, is one sacrificing oneself for humanity. It's a sacrifice for humanity. And Dracula, on the other hand, sacrifices humanity for himself. So not only is it not a good comparison, it's the opposite comparison. And it excuses away all of the things that Dracula does. And it's the kind of selfish toddler motivation that life is something that shouldn't have been, so thus I have the right to prey off of, mankind for my own selfish needs. There's no sacrifice, there's no heroism there. And that's something that was very important to me when I was working on Nosfero. I don't want to make work. Yeah, it does look kind of interesting. And that guy, he is very hit or miss. I think it's Robert Eggers, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm curious to see what he does with it. But this is the crazy part of it, is that there aren't any writing heroes, and making great heroes is difficult. Bram Stoker, Bram Stoker did that with Dracula. And so that's amazing, only to see that be completely rewritten. And as I've researched him, it has strengthened in me a desire to make video subjects that reframe this stuff, because I can't watch any more terrible documentaries. I've actually, studied the book and listened to the audiobook so many times that I have certain sections of it completely memorized. And it's a remarkable achievement. It's a remarkable achievement that doesn't need Freudian analysis or any of that thing, like most great books. Missed that part of the show. Oops, I better jump back. Green Ha, Creative Block, Top 5 Superheroes, Soups, Cap, Spidey, Bats, Jesus. In my opinion, Jesus is the greatest superhero. There you go. Yeah, Nosferatu, got that. Yeah, and it's interesting because I have my copy of Dracula is right over there, just like my copy of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and then over there I have Last of the Mohicans, Treasure Island, all of these incredible works. And what you're doing when you guys send super chats... Oh, actually, let me show you this. At the end of... And it plays a part. It's a contribution. Hang on a second. That it contributes to me being able to do this. Let me see if I can find this. Hang on a second here. I know I probably left everything I needed somewhere else, but let's try to see if we can make this happen. Because this is the point here. We'll use the point of this pencil. Speaking of, this is the point. Let's see if I can rip this. There we go. So let's show this. This is important. See if I can do this without doxing myself, although it almost seems like it's a little point. Do you see this right here? This right here is what your super chat, Cranberry Langers. This right here is what your super chat helps to make possible. The purchasing of new brushes so that I can do this work. And I never want that to be lost on anybody, that it takes 47 years or whatever it takes to gain skills up to this point, but it takes money and resources to continue to fight the good fight, and you guys make it happen with your support of this channel, with all of this stuff that you do. Micra, it is great to see you. Hello, Shanth. Hey, yo, chat. How goes it? It goes well. Happy Friday to you. And let me see what else I've got. Emo Trash, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, those Bob Ross brushes. Yeah, you gotta have them. You absolutely gotta have them. And so, when you get to the point to where you are trying to write stories, you're trying to write stories that are meaningful, stories that are going to uplift people, stories of beauty, but stories that are also sexy and mysterious and adventurous, and there's danger around every corner. We can go more operatic, and we can bring meaning to good. I was watching one of Ethan's streams. I think it was the stream the other night, but the days blur together. I'm sure you guys are, particularly at this age, I'm sure you're familiar with that. I was watching one of his streams, and he was showing some pages from a book that he came up with the story for, created the character, and it's being plotted. And I'm sorry, he's plotted it, and it's being scripted and illustrated by someone else called Helephant. And there was a brutality and intensity and a power to the illustrations and the subject matter that I think is the lifeblood of story. It's the lifeblood of what we do. And so when I sit down to do the work that I'm doing here, it's something that we all share, we all have in common, is that we want to tell stories that are going to wake people up, which is to say aesthetic stories, and not make anesthetic stories, which is to say put them to sleep, which is the opposite of aesthetic. And so for here, right here, here's what you're looking at. Here's what you're looking at. Yeah, uplifting, yeah, stories definitely do that, bypass the fact that most of my main characters experience inhumane horrors. Yeah, and if there's a meaning to Nosfero the Crypt Walker, if there's a meaning to what this stuff is, it is a counter-narrative. That book is a counter-narrative to this very grotesque definition of human beings and their potential, which is to say that if something bad happens to you, it ruins you. You can't ever overcome it. You can't ever rise above it, which is not true. I see exceptional people around all the time, and maybe some of you in the chat know, and you've experienced this, where you've risen above things that were difficult. You've overcome things. You've made hard choices in order to do the right thing. That's what matters, and that's what we should be celebrating, instead of saying, oh, nobody really cares. And that's not what my streams are about, but that's nothing that I want to live in. That's nothing that's going to inspire me. And that's the great responsibility of storytellers. I sent, when Eric and I were talking about the Brandywine tradition, for those of you guys who don't know and would like to hear a little bit more, and you know, about the kinds of things that are important to art history and illustrators, we were talking about the Brandywine tradition, which is to say the American illustration tradition that started with Howard Pyle in this particular sense, the father of American illustration. Howard Pyle, Howardpyle, Pyle. And there was a quote from someone talking about the Brandywine tradition. And he said this, excuse me, he said this, and it really got me. This is an art historian back in the day. In his study of the Brandywine tradition, 1968 was when the book was published, author and illustrator Henry Clarence Pitts wrote of the movement's concern for human values, delight in the exercise of the pictorial imagination, the feeling that design should follow, the behest of content, and the conviction that the illustrator has a power over and responsibility to his audience. And it's that responsibility that's important. Yep, yes indeed. My Bob Ross is happy little monster. Absolutely right, yeah. Let me see here. Simply Green says, nailed it. Faith Thomas says, how can you be a comic book artist if you're not good at drawing? My case, I'm writing a comic book about my grandma, but I just can't draw yet. She was Southern Baptist, had an autistic grandchild, me. Well, that's an interesting question, Faith, and let me give you my thought. Which is what, of course, you get on the internet, various people's thoughts. Do with it what you will. Why does it have to be a comic book? Why does it have to be a comic book at all? Why can't it be a novel? Why can't it be a short story? why can't it be without pictures? Even if you wish it to be a comic book, right? Even if you wish it to be a comic book, that is fine. But I would love you to know that I'm actually working on a book right now. I write as well when I am not doing this and not doing a million other things. I'm working on a book. And the thing that gets me is that writing is probably one of the best exercises you could do without thought of pictures. And also, we needn't think of a book being this ginormous amount of text. People in the chat were doing this for me the other day, but a short story like A Christmas Carol, which is a very short book by book comparisons, changed the meaning of Christmas. The Call of Cthulhu by H.P. Lovecraft was even shorter than that, and I forget the word count on that, but the word count is alarmingly short. I say, focus on the story, worry about the comic aspect of it after. Was the stream EVS asking, money no option, who would you get? Oh, who would you get? Yes, it might have been that one. And I actually think I know what my answer would be there. EVS, who dat? This is an awesome one. That's very Louisiana. Or Louisiana, as we say. Mark's Music Obsession channel member, welcome. It is great to see you. Don't worry about being late. You're always on time. You're always on time. It's great to see you. Yes, novellas, couple hundred words. It's terrifying. The Art and Times of J. Ryan. Now, I say this with a love of comics, but I also have a love of cinema. I have a love of novels. I have a love of all different kinds of creative works. And sometimes I think that that one of the things that interests me the most about the place that we're in is that writing is really what, how do I put this? Writing is one of the easiest, not easiest disciplines, but one of the ways that it really is effective at getting your story out there to the masses. And when I look at all of the great pop culture phenomenon of the last several decades, they happen to come from writers. Harry Potter, The Hunger Games, right? All of these things, Twilight even, these billion-dollar enterprises have come from the written word. So we can open... Mark, I just saw that. I was bummed too. I was hurting. I'm still a little bit hurting, to be honest with you. But yeah, I hated doing it. But I've got the next two movies and they're going to be great. Because my first thought was for Zeta. Then I remembered Luis Royo, still around. Was wondering if you'd come across his work. Yes, I know his work quite well. Yeah, I've seen it. It's a novelistic comic book. Very cool because she was a cook. Oh my gosh, and taught me traditions I wanted to honor in the best way I could. That was part of her history and legacy. Yes, Nosfero. Oh, it's still fulfilling. Yeah, it's still fulfilling. It is fulfilling and it's still fulfilling. I'm waiting on some more packing materials, but it's Sheeple Hunter. It is on its way. I'm about to crack, although I haven't got the hit the mail yet, but I'm about to crack 500. So we're almost there, and then international shortly thereafter. But yes, it's coming soon. So let me say this, Faith. Let me go back to this. Imagine in such a way that if you were to tell the story, and it was an illustrated story, and it was written and presented to people as if it was a cookbook. Form can lend itself sometimes to the narrative, to the project. And in this space of crowdfunding, in this space that we are making here at Comicsgate, and in the broader sense of things people refer to as the Iron Age, that's possible. With spot illustrations, I mean, to me, it's if the book is about the ingredients of life, why not bend it towards the direction aesthetically of a cookbook? Anything is possible. Except for that. Yeah, don't have it be to serve man. That is terrifying. But yes, Rudolph. And a great story, by the way. Those aliens are creepy by today's standards. The Skulls That Scream, great movie. Yes, absolutely, about Bancroft's Well Full of Skulls. That's right. Hello, Mr. Weathers, my artist brother. I was just talking, Eric, I was just singing your praises and talking about our deep dive into the Brandywine tradition and the higher calling of art. I don't mean Art T-Bear. He is, of course, quite amazing already, but the artistic pursuit, I think people remove the work part from art, but they also remove the skill part of it and how important skill is to all of this. And so what I'm doing is, with this story, I am reaching into antiquity, I'm reaching into history and narrative, and I'm still always focused on the practicality of getting this stuff done. And I know this for certain, if we don't work very hard to create a better framing device and a more honest framing device of all of these great works, we're going to be left with how they choose to define heroism. People who want to define heroism as villainy, and I'm not interested in living in that place. Henry Bemis, channel member, it is great to see you. How are you doing? Speaking of a fellow connoisseur of Twilight Zone and great storytelling, excuse me, gentlemen and ladies. My goodness. So yeah, so when I'm thinking about stuff and I'm working on sketches, and I at the end of the long day of making, work and packing up, just stacks of books and going to the post office, I try to think in the language of art so that I can, an artwork, I should say. I'm going to add the work back in when I talk about it. In the language of artwork so that I can offer things up. So whether it's working on commissions or it's just a late night half-dead sketch, I try to create things. This was one I did the other day on a stream in the background. This was me doing a fun piece inspired by Shane Davis's Inglorious Rex. And I jokingly referred to this as Shinglorious Rex. And you can see sort of what the take is. We can play, we can create, we are making new heroes, guys. We are making new heroes. That is what Shane Davis is doing. That is what Ethan Van Sciver is doing. That is what John Malin is doing. That is what Michael Bancroft is doing. That is what Eric Weathers is doing with Battle Brick Road. We are raising the game of this stuff. So when I have a moment to think about how can we make this stuff more creative, how can we make this stuff more inspiring, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to reach for this stuff, because we have outstanding heroes around us all the time, like the ones in Battle Brick Road. The link is in the description. That is what this is about. We are trying to paint for people what the Brandywine tradition was very much about: visions of adventure. Visions of adventure. Yes. And I couldn't agree more, Rudolph. I am absolutely moving differently. Unfortunately for me, it's largely arthritis-based. And that's how it goes. Yeah, buddy, says Eric Weathers. Dude, it is an honor to stand shoulder to shoulder with you in this pursuit of art. And that means, as you guys saw in a past stream, if I have an idea for a story that I can sketch out, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it happen. We have no shortage of ideas. What we have shortage of in the Comicsgate space is a shortage of time and a shortage of financial resources. That we are David versus Goliath. We have a sling. And we point towards those people who do not like humanity, do not like the aesthetic, but the anesthetic, the didactic, the political, the lectures, all of the stuff that robs humanity. We look at them and we create art in their face. We point to them and we say, Philistine! I challenge you. And you guys make it possible when you support us. When you support what we do on YouTube. Thank you, channel members. Thank you guys who send super chats. It pays for brushes. Thank you guys who buy the t-shirts that are in the link. And back my brother's works, which all those links are in the descriptions. You make it possible for us to make art. We are up against it. And that's why whenever I think about painting or drawing something, it's either one of my ideas or one of my fellow Comicsgate creators' ideas that I want to celebrate with my artwork. Because we only have so many paintings and so many works of art in us, and we want to make sure that, yes, that was Rats with Weapons, and that is a story idea I came up with many years ago called The Monster Rat Kin of Cthulhu, or Thulu, actually, properly pronounced. And the idea was to do I wouldn't even say a parody, but it's kind of a homage to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where the inciting incident, as opposed to Daredevil's origin story, which was the inciting incident for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles story, the origin story, I should say the death of Wilbur Whateley in the Dunwich Horror is the inciting incident. But all of this stuff is only possible with money, time, and your enthusiasm. You guys are the ones who go forth and say, check out what we're doing out there. You guys are the ones who bring the positivity. You guys make it possible. You guys make it possible. Yeah, that's right. And the rats in the walls was another thing I was referencing. And I wanted to grab all of this stuff, all of this horror, and see what I could do with it. See what I could do with it. And that's what we're here to do. And I love the fact that I get to, every time they do something, for example, the World Science Fiction, whatever, con, removes Lovecraft because of his very prejudice and racist writings. They remove him as an icon, in a way, throwing out his work and trying to focus purely on his many idiosyncrasies and shortcomings and all of that kind of stuff. I go, fine, throw the baby out with the bathwater, you fools. They selectively reduce people down to the only things that they can point to that they can compete with. Congratulations if you think you're less racist than H.P. Lovecraft. I would like to see it proven first, and I don't know if I want to live in a world where people have to prove that. Sounds a little totalitarian and terrifying. But have you written anything great? That's not what he's famous for. If that was his claim to fame, no one would be talking about his work, right? So we go back and we look at all of this work that's happening, and I go, we have to make great work and have to stop being hemmed in by all of the silliness on the other side. You know, all of the silliness on the other side. And that's where you get creativity from. H.P. Lovecraft, as I like to say, when H.P. Lovecraft was my age, he was dead. And he left a legacy. And he left a legacy of fiction that so many people read. And I always say, if you can't compete with the creator, compete with the person's personal failings. It's a much easier way to go about things and engage in character destruction, selectively, of course. And H.P. Lovecraft's imagination is one that we will not see the likes of for many years. I don't think anyone has rivaled him. And, yeah, I say create the most incredible, compelling, beautiful, aesthetic works you can. And we need you guys to help us with that. We need you guys to help us with that. Because there are people who are trying to rob you of your culture, of the Western canon constantly. And our works not only ensure that it is a living tradition when you back our stuff, but our works point back. I think that was what Joseph Campbell was always fond of saying, that the word religion comes from religio, which is to say to link back to things. And the Western canon needs us to link back to it and connect the work we're doing today with it. Yeah, I hate nanny labels 100%. I'd put that book down too. Yeah, yeah, there you go. Name your dog racist J. Oh my, yeah, I know, it's scary. I bought a book about Lovecraft's life last year. The foreword apologized for him being a racist. I put it down and never got past the foreword. Yeah, what's interesting to me about that is, what's up, Mike Wilson Art? How are you doing? They cater to the lowest common denominator. Yes, they do. And yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, C2E2 was both exactly what I expected and at the same time an escalation. Yes, it was. But let me say this too. When it comes to it, you were talking about Lovecraft documentaries, and I understand completely Henry Bemis. I've gotten to the point to where I can't watch Dracula documentaries anymore. They so misrepresent Bram Stoker's work and turn it into this just bizarre, nihilistic, postmodernist Freudian, which is really their own twisted stuff. It's so disappointing. And it's designed to reframe things so that people who would gain strength and excitement from the works don't. They just go, well, that book's about Dracula. No, that book is about a group of heroes. Dracula is not the central figure of it. You know, and I can't stand it. Yeah, H.P. Lovecraft's story was one of pain, suffering, a very horrendous childhood, really awful, abusive childhood, probably more than than we know. But he was the kind of person who was so conflicted with himself that he was filled with anti-Semitism and then married a Jewish woman. Go figure. So he's not somebody who... he was somebody who was very conflicted and died suffering of, some awful intestinal cancer, completely broke. And it was a miracle that while he was on this planet with all of the mental illness and abuse and things that he was going through, R.E. Howard is very similar in that way, that he was able to produce anything at all. And by the way, his work, The Shadow over Innsmouth, is the most articulate explanation of what racists really fear. And my God, is it powerful. Oh my goodness gracious, let's see what we got here. Do we have a celebrating 2 months of membership? Random McRanderson channel member says Anne Rice ruined vampires. Changed my mind. I can't random. Whenever you guys send a super chat or a member chat, God, oh, my teeth hurt. Oh, shoot. It's always going to be worth it. It's always going to be worth it. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that the teeth cleaning have an element of gum removal to them. I don't know if you know what I mean, but it happens. Yes, Lovecraft created a new genre of horror. How many people can say that? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, cultural sensitivity that women have boobs, laugh out loud, people so dumb these days. Yes. If anything, it's because of his bizarre perception of the world he could create what he created. Yes, if someone were to ask me, what was H.P. Lovecraft most afraid of, which people say the fear of the unknown is what he would articulate, I would say he was most afraid of himself. He was absolutely terrified of himself, his impulses, his own experiences. His mother told him his body would fall apart and that he had a hideous face when he was young. All these awful, awful things. And when you look at his documentary, it's one of loss and alienation in his own home. And, yeah, it was not a great scene. And I think he understood horror, but there was no one on earth that H.P. Lovecraft hated more than himself based on his own, the way he was just alienated himself from people and died really alone in poverty. It's not an uplifting story. He's somebody that in his biography we should pity. And I don't think that genius needs to, by necessity, come with mental illness and suffering. I think that is a grotesque narrative that people put on artists to excuse people who are not that creative but are completely nuts. And I'm not a fan of it, I gotta be honest. Yeah, Lovecraft came from an insular upper East Coast family. They were not normal. Yeah, well, that and his grandfather, Whipple Phillips, after his father died in Butler Hospital, insane asylum, as a result of STD situation, his grandfather, Whipple Phillips, passed away, and they had to sell the family home and the library that was his basic only escape from his mother and her madness. And so his life was one of having a very disturbed person being the only parenting figure in his life. And he was fortunate enough to find artists and creators who, in some cases, disagreed with him strongly. But he was never able to fully overcome that. In the end, he found himself returning to Providence again and again and again. And I've said this before on previous streams, that I was fortunate enough to have crossed paths with so many places important to Lovecraft. I'm a graduate of Rhode Island School of Design, and that is the institution that the artist who sculpted the Cthulhu bas-relief in Call of Cthulhu went to. My mentor, one of my teachers, 50 years older to the day of me, had his studio space in the Fleur-de-Lis building, which is referenced in the Call of Cthulhu. It is, if I start looking at all of the bizarre connections of various things and influences on my work, it makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. It is crazy. Yep, Whipple Worthington Weathers. There you have it. Yeah, make Whipple great again. I agree. Can we... I don't want to start that nickname for Eric, because it will happen. Whipple? Can we bring that name back into fashion? Yes. Eric Whipple Weathers. It's got to happen. Whipple Worthington Weathers. I love it. Yeah. The streets are the new asylum. Absolutely right. Yeah. My brother Eric, man. Oh, man. We have the best time talking about artwork. It's a blast, man. It's a blast. If you love artwork and you find inklings, as C.S. Lewis did, and J.R.R. Tolkien did, you are incredibly fortunate. And that fellowship runs through Dracula. That fellowship, I think, is an essential part of any thriving group of artists. And I feel very blessed and I feel very fortunate that in Comicsgate I have so many fellow artists who are dedicated to the skill and the craft as much as I am. Because nobody just gets to the point to where they can break out gouache and write with it, write stories with it, right? These are the things that are difficult. You know, yeah, Anne Rice's romance vampires, yeah, ruined it long before the Twilight thing did. Yes, the Whippleverse, make it happen. Make it so. Yeah, I love it, man. So yeah, I think that we are in need of what comics would give us. We are in need of heroism. And as beautifully painted as this book is, and the books that I'm doing are, for me, the comic book form, the beauty of the comic book form, is something that is the main focus of what I do. It's the main focus of what I do. It's what happens when you tell a story, and I'm really looking forward to getting these. I'm so annoyed that my shipment from Gemini got delayed. It has. They say they printed the label. Half of my shipment that I could have waited on came, and then the 300 filler cardboard pieces that I ordered that I need today have been delayed. It's just one of those things, right? But you guys know I'm not going to complain. What do we say in New England? Can't complain. No one wants to hear it anyway. But the thing that I love about getting Nosfero out to you guys is I can start talking about the story more on stream without worrying about spoiling it for everybody. Because it's a story... You know, Michael said it best when he read it. He was surprised. Michael Bancroft, my friend Michael, said he was surprised at how much faith played a role in it, which I was shocked, because that happened organically. The things that make comic books great are the things that made the first comic book I ever held in my hand, shared with me by a good friend, Zachary Hartford Cullis, God bless him, was this collection of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you had told me I was going to be doing an 8.5 by 11 painted all the way through comic book with a painted cover when I was that age, I would have told you I'm afraid of crayons. I'm not going to be painting. But it is not about perfect anatomy. It's not about all of that stuff. It's not about perfect structure. It's about life. And if you can have the art, like so many of the people I admire, and the vibe to love comics and to really love this art form, then that is what it's about. And that's the stuff that I love about comics. It's the life of comics. It's the life of comics. That is what it is. Yep. It's all angles. Eric knows it now. It's about a feeling. Amen, Gen X Catholic. It is great to see you. Just saying, not Whipple. Yeah, that's right. The Whipple procedure is an operation to treat tumors. Yes, that's right. And other conditions in the pancreas, small intestine, and bile ducts. Yes, I did know that, actually. Because, you know, when you get to be our age, right, we know all of these things, all these medical procedures. Whoa, I have that. That's the first place I ever read the Turtles. Me too. And I think I was in the 4th grade. What grade was I in when I met him? I think I met him in 4th or 5th grade. And he had this with him in his book bag. He slid it over to me and said, check this out. And for some reason, I've always loved that silhouette of Michelangelo in the background. It's just so great. And that's how friendships are formed. That's how friendships are formed. That is, to me, that's another aspect of Comicsgate. That's the heart and soul of what we're doing here. We are saying, have you seen this comic? Do you like comics? What's your favorite run on this particular series? We haven't changed. The admins, the folks who are the bureaucrats of comics have changed, but those of us who are the fans and the collectors still want to meet our creators, still want to support them and their books. And there's this interaction that happens in comics that's unique, like every hobby is unique. It's the same thing as boxing fans, or going to a football game, or watching a football game with friends, or going to the movies with your friends. All of that stuff, it's big, man. It's big. It's important stuff. In elementary school, I hated art, to be honest. Yeah, I was similar. And now here I am with a $300 drawing tablet, mindlessly drawing in the background here. No, that's important. That's important. Yeah, we are all old together. Amen. The Brain Center at Whipple's is a Twilight Zone episode. I love it. It all comes back to Twilight Zone. It does. It does. Yes, we are old together. You're absolutely right. Emo, you go, girl. Yeah, guys, these traditions are passed down. They're done by hand. That you can't pass a tradition down through mechanistic processes, because mechanistic processes are not the point. The point is not to replicate something exactly, or to document what it looks like when a thing is done. That's not the process of art. That's not the process of any of this stuff. The memories of what a thing is once it's been out for 20, 30, 40, 100 or so years is not the same memory that people have of going to the bookstore at midnight to get the latest Harry Potter book, or going to the movie theater to see Star Wars for the first time, or waiting for it to come to your town, or being there when Hulk 340 hit the stands, or being there when that book The Studio came out with Bernie Wrightson and Barry Windsor Smith and Jeff Jones and Mike Kaluta. Every comic book moment, every storytelling moment, or being there, as I recall very clearly, when people were accusing, by way of getting his contract not to be renewed, accusing Ethan Van Sciver of being the leader of Comicsgate. And in frustration, he says, you know what? Okay, yeah, I am. Or being there watching live when John Malin is grabbed by security at C2E2. Do you get what I mean? These are massive pop culture moments as far as I'm concerned. These are moments in the battle for artwork. Not in the battle to be in control of it. To be in the battle to make sure it doesn't perish. Because they're not in the art business. They're in the exclusion control business. And that's not what we're about. As you have seen very recently, if you can tell a good story, it will be acknowledged. If I think somebody has told a good story, I will acknowledge it. That is the difference. Regardless of how I feel about the person or persons or whoever is involved in it, if it's good, quality will out. That is the key. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to fight for quality. John, it's great to see you. Yes, it has been a crazy couple of weeks. You know, and Gen X Catholic, every time I see you in the chat, it puts a smile on my face. Just so you know, man. Much love. Annoyed my mom to take me and my friends to opening night of Batman 1989. I remember that movie's release. You want to talk about just a whirling, infectious, all-consuming anticipation for a movie. Batman 1989, it doesn't get bigger than that. Yeah, 1989, didn't think it would be sold out. Mom was pissed. God bless her sanity and saintly patience. Amen. Yeah, we all benefit from saintly patience. That is for sure. Yes, John is the guy standing in the front of the tank in China. There you go. Yeah, there it is. He is. He's a brave man. Gives no quarter to nihilism. Yeah, the second time I watched Star Wars in 77 was the best because I spent the first time as a 9-year-old going, wait, what just happened? I can imagine. It must have been like being pushed into the back of your movie theater seat. It's unreal. Yeah, Godlike is nuts in a good way. Amen. And so is John, for that matter. Hail Coach, man. He's a good dude. I've gotten to know him a little bit, you know. And it's... yeah, what you see is what you get with John. He's a good dude. I'm proud to be a fan and supporter and a fellow artist and colleague with him. He's a good dude. Yeah, John, you missed the Vic interview. Yeah, there you go. Hello. Hey, John, everybody's saying the hello, getting their hellos in. Let me see here. Sean is a charmer. You know me. Always a charmer. Yeah, hey, John, finally heard Sean scream your name on X. Yeah, that's right. Batman 1989 versus Team. Which movie's better? I'll take both. I'm going to embrace the power of and on that, Random McGranderson. Let me tell you. I love both of those movies. What's staggering when you put it like that is that they happened 1 year apart. That's what's staggering to me. Because that first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie with Jim Henson and the director who directed the that famous Aha movie, Take on Me, and he did a lot of amazing music videos. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. Shoot. And he came up with the idea to light the Turtles dark and make it more mysterious. Fantastic choice. He used the trip to Northampton, the Northampton farm in Massachusetts storyline, where the return of Shredder, and then the first book, and they put it together into an incredible movie. And according to the documentary, he said that the script didn't understand it at all, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so him and his writer friend, took the comic books and would just cut out pages and lay them out like storyboards, and that is why you got such a great movie out of it. In the case of Batman 1989, you had, of course, the brilliant Anton Furst, production designer, who we sadly lost, and shortly thereafter to mental health issues and medication side effects. But he designed the Batmobile and very much the look of it, and the bat suit and the cities and all of the architectural things. To me, Batman 1989 is a monolith of creativity. Yeah, it's pretty much perfect. I agree. It is pretty much perfect. It is great. And if you love comics, guys, and if you love the stuff that we're doing here, I mean, it is an embarrassment. It is. Now I'm getting worked up. I'm getting fired up, folks. Getting fired up, folks, on X and YouTube watching. It is an embarrassment of riches. It is an embarrassment of riches. We are wildly fortunate to be living in such a great time of comics, such a great time of creativity and independence. There's so much outstanding stuff happening all the time. It's everywhere. It's all around us. It's an embarrassment of riches. All we have to do is, and it is a serious ask. It's a serious ask. We need your support to make this stuff keep happening. This is what it's about. Do you guys get what I'm saying? We're making this stuff happen. And what is so crazy is that we all kind of come into this space, and yes, there's that element of, can you grab an oar? Can you grab an oar so we can make this happen? And in the funniest ways possible, without spoilers, I got this book and I was flipping through it, and I was thinking to myself, like, oh, this is cool, and I'd completely forgotten this, and John never lets you forget. That's the beauty of John Malin. He will make sure you get credit, and he'll make sure you get a check. And I went, oh yeah, I helped John on this logo. I mean, he more or less art directed the entire logo, but you can't that guy doesn't miss a trick. You know? John likes to point out everybody who contributes, because that is the kind of guy he is. You know? That's the kind of man he is, that's the kind of character he is. And it's refreshing to be around people who share that value, who know who is working hard and who's helping. I think the sign of I know I do. I think about John and how much he has helped me, and by one, making that stand, but also just being the first man over the wall, holding that line. The same thing goes for Ethan, and how many ways he works to promote people, and promote their campaigns. Michael Bancroft is the same way. Eric Weathers, is the same way. I mean, I've met some incredible people. What would Nosfero be? For me, it would have just been a purely isolated process without the great back and forth with Eric Weathers about, the lettering, just talking about it. Most of the time I was over the moon with the stuff he was doing. But he was, Michael, and with the launch of Nosfero and offering to look over my campaign, these guys were real brothers. And then, so much time spent promoting it and helping me to promote it as I, grind away on this channel. That's really the thing that makes it all exciting, and I'm very grateful. And to all of you in Comicsgate, I'm so grateful. Yeah, every year, go back 30 years, compare movie releases. Yes, 100%. Oh, that's Ahavid with the crazy drawings. Yes, by the way, I had such a crush on the gal in that video. And I hadn't watched that video in a very long time. And I watched it about 10 years or 5 or 6 years ago for the first time on YouTube. And the girl in that video has so many similarities to my wife when she was the same age. It is absolutely staggering. I was like, oh, she had the same haircut at some point, and I was just looking at it going, I clearly had a type. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had that. What's up, Comrade Sammy? I don't know if any of you guys have ever had that horrible realization that you've had a type your entire life, but it does terrify. It does terrify. I did a side-by-side picture of her with the missus when she had the same haircut, and my mother-in-law laughed and went, "You clearly had a type." You know how it is. But I write the stuff that I think is going to be uplifting to people, and I try to paint the stuff that's going to be uplifting. Let me just move this light just a little bit so it's not as blown out. There we go. That's a little bit better. But that's the objective here. That's the objective. And I want to say to all of you guys enjoying your Friday, and my Australians enjoying their Saturday most likely, thank God it is Friday. And I am glad to have all of you guys here with me on this fine Friday as we paint comics and we tell stories and we make things that are beautiful that you can get excited about backing. I'm going to have the sign up for the second chance of Nosfero the Crypt Walker. The email sign up is going to go up on the 20th, which is a very important career milestone anniversary for me. And the launch of the book is I'm sort of working on that. I want to talk to Ethan and folks and see what's a good time, because a lot of people are going to be launching books soon, and I want to make sure it gets it's not stepping into someone else's launch or whatever else, but I would like to try to do it on another particularly important anniversary. So we'll see how that all goes, but it's going to be really great because it's going to have the art only edition for those of you guys who like artist edition type books where you just have the paintings, and then it's going to have another version with Eric's letters on it, so that for those of you guys who want the story, as well as opportunities to get the first printing depending on how many I have left. But yeah, that's the fun of what we're doing here. That's what makes it exciting, and that's what makes it cool. Shanth missing all my gold I'm throwing here. Oh, sorry, John. The chat ninja is wily. Thank God it's Friday, exactly. Fly Day. I saw Batman 1989 in a 1920s vaudeville era theater. Dark and with the old balconies. Perfect setting for the opening. I bet it was. Yeah, I know. I'm missing all the gold. What is going on? What am I doing here, John? I don't know. I don't know where I'm asleep at the switch here. So yeah, so let me show you guys some of this fun stuff, this crazy stuff we work on. So yeah, so this is page 1, and this is an art stream, so they're gonna have to deal with it. This is page 1 of Nosfero the Crypt Walker, or I should say not Nosfero the Crypt Walker, Nosfero Death Will Die. So I'm up to my old tricks again. And these are the first 2 panels of it. And that's the fun of doing this kind of work and doing this story. And the story is going to be a continuation of the bare knuckle, give nihilism no quarter, faith and goodness over nihilism and evil that you have experienced with the first book. I am going to continue to move in that direction until I can't anymore. And that goes with everything I do. 20th, how do I, Sean, say it again, because I missed that part you said. So I'm going to have the email sign-up list on the 20th. Don't worry, I will be talking about it on stream lots. If you are subscribed, make sure you hit the bell for notifications, because, one, that's the only thing YouTube cares about. So if you aren't hitting the bell, they don't share my video out there. They go, even his own fan base has no interest in hearing what he has to say. And while that may be true, pretend it isn't true, and hit that bell. That is the #1 metric YouTube uses. But it will be announced many times. It will be announced many times. And yeah, Mark, don't worry, you will be taken care of. But that is going to be, the sign up is going to be then. And then I'm just going to talk to Ethan about, when's a good time, because I know that a lot of folks have got different stuff launching on different days. And I got to talk to my brother Michael, because if I don't spend any of my launch day with Michael Bancroft on his channel, I gotta be with my brothers, man. And Michael launched Nosfero when we barely knew each other, and that is one of my happiest memories in Comicsgate. And so many of you guys backed this campaign, not knowing if you were going to even receive anything. And you know what's funny is that I talk with my wife about that sometimes. I talk with my friend Nick. I talk with my wife, and I say, babe, there was a channel that I watch every now and again called Retro Blasting, and he was talking about a Kickstarter for an Airwolf 1/18 scale. I think it was G.I. Joe scaled Airwolf with figures, and I think the buy-in for that was something like $300 or $400, and the Kickstarter just put out a note, the people who were running it, saying, it's insolvent, we can't afford to do this. Sorry, we gave it our best shot. So I fully understand why people are reticent and reluctant to back crowdfunds in general. What we try to do is we try to make a place to where our average is better than the typical, and I think it has been. So now people are seeing Nosfero. You lunatics who backed it back in the day, you guys, it was an act of faith, and it is a pleasure to reward that faith. And we have a new member, Son of Liberty Radio. Welcome to Cryptwalker status. This is outstanding. How was I not already a member? He says. Well, I'm going to tell you what becoming a new member gets you, my friend. It gets you this. Charge! Now, it occasionally will get you this. Charge! Because that's how we do things here. Welcome, Son of Liberty Radio. It is a pleasure to have you here. Yes. Yeah, crowdfunders, acting like children does not help. How dare you? If you say that again, John, I'm going to hold my breath. I mean, You're going to get old man humor here, man. What do you want me to do? Yeah. Oh, my Lord. Yeah. I'm a nerd that way. I'm a parent. Yeah, I'm stamping my feet, says Gen X Catholic. Oh, man. See, this is why I can't stream after dental work, because you guys make me laugh way too much. So the next movies we're going to be watching on Pizza Live, which is going to resume this Thursday after a brief dental work hiatus. They're two really great movies. I already built the videos. I was unbelievably excited. Cracker Barrel. Please do me a favor. Awesome one. I don't know how you eat. Probably Cracker Barrel. John, I don't know how you eat. But when you go there, if you can get the chicken fried or country fried, whatever they call it, steak for me, Order one, pour one out for your homies. Pour some sawmill gravy out for your homies in the parking lot. I'd appreciate it. That's right. I love me some Southern food, man. That is, whenever I go to Texas, because I grew up in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Whenever I go anywhere where I can get chicken fried or country fried steak, I don't even care the quality. I gotta be honest with you. I'd love to pretend that I'm a connoisseur of it, but at this point, I'm just plain desperate. It's the same thing. I grew up in the South where Mexican food is a staple, so as soon as Mexican food started to hit New England, and we started getting decent Mexican food, it was wonderful. It was wonderful, because it's a staple, man. You miss it when you're not there. And Southern food, man, God, really good Southern food, really good barbecue. That is something that I really miss some days. I really miss that stuff. Sometimes I'll watch that. What is the guy who has the... he cooks country food and he has the wagon. I know his name, but I'm blanking on it right now. This kills me. But he does the best looking country fried steak or chicken fried steak recipe I've ever seen. And it looks like a religious experience, man. It is great. Yeah, that's my brother's favorite thing, Shanth, chicken fried steak. Yeah, I used to go get it at this restaurant that I don't even know if it's in business anymore, Po Folks, and it was so good. I'm currently fighting with a crowdfunder who was very disrespectful to me as a backer. He posted on X that backers did not help him create his project, that we were just customers buying a book. Yeah, you know what's funny is just in general about all of this stuff, you know, it's like, hey, happy Friday, Ellie, by the way. It's great to see you, man. Yeah, here's what I'd say about all of this stuff. Look, everybody is oftentimes at loose ends, and everybody's tired, and everybody goes through things, and it's hard to describe, you know, just how tiring I think. That's the thing. I guess that's one of the reasons why I did this stream today, is that people can get burned out and feel very frustrated with everything, whether it's the like I was a little, you know, just to tattle on myself, dare I say. I got really frustrated when I realized that these Gemini mailing fillers that I was waiting for today hadn't shipped yet. And I emailed them about it. And part of me was like, you know, I kind of had to look at my email and I go, all right, it wasn't bad or anything like that, but I was like, it's not going to get here any faster. I can make sure I'm being as polite as I can be about it. But I was feeling really frustrated because I wanted to do this and do this, and I had to remind myself, do something that you can do right now. Do something that you can do, and go stream, and because I was planning on streaming anyway, and go get to work. And the thing that's kind of crazy is that it's unique. I wonder, you know, many years from now, what people will make of all of this stuff, because to me, this is nothing I've known in my life about this idea of being able to see things come to fruition and seeing people attempt to pull off the stuff. To me, it's a miracle that anybody's able to pull it off, to actually get the thing to finish. And I guess I don't know if that makes any kind of sense, but it really is kind of shocking to me. I mean it like literally as a miracle. When I see the CYBERFROG toys is a really good example. Knowing only 5 or 6% of what goes into making an action figure, and seeing so many people not able to even finish the damn thing, it's crazy. Package design. It looks like you could go into a toy store and hang it on a rack. It's wild, you know. Oh gosh, random. Sorry, my glasses just fell off. You know, listen, when this nose came in during my teenage years, I thought at least it would help keep my glasses up. Nightmare. Random McRanderson says, I try to be super polite with everyone who has to deal with me over work. Sometimes I have to be pushy because, yes, of course, it makes it easier for people to talk to you. Yes, and you know what's interesting? And Headless Bourgeoisie, it's great to see you. Welcome and hail. One of the big things, yeah, backers aren't just customers, or we'd be buying stuff on a shelf. 100. Well, shoot, it just jumped again. Shelf. I come here to fund the sort of things that the mainstream wouldn't like to. Yes, absolutely. Same for me. That is 100% why I back things. And it jumped again. Dang it. Okay, so I think I caught most of these things. Yeah. So it's an interesting thing because I was looking at the triple threat covers is a really good example, and I just thought, and I'm not trying to bum these guys out. I think they've handled it incredibly well, but I kind of got a little annoyed for them today, or the other day when I got them, because they say convention special, and how much time and care and work goes into printing books, getting them ready for a convention, to then just have yourself be uninvited or disinvited to a convention. And I felt it. You know what I mean? I just look at these things and I'm like, yeah, they're still convention specials. They're still great, but they deserved to be on the floor selling that stuff. But sometimes, as Clint Eastwood said in Unforgiven, deserve's got nothing to do with it. And I'd like to think that it's fired us up more to do a convention and to get this stuff out there. It's wild because I root for those guys, and I root for any independent creator who's stepping into the fray, and not just in the Comicsgate space and all of that stuff. I have heard from folks who you guys wouldn't know, they're not even in this space, working for entertainment companies that, I haven't seen them in a couple of years. I had a friend to the house, and he was telling me about a guy at his work who was canceled and he'd been there for 25 years, putting in time, and was responsible for building so many amazing things in the identity of this very art-centered place. And he was accused of being a racist and forced out the door, only to find that to start up his own group with his contacts, everything he built. And now he's using his old place of work as a distributor. And you think, this is nuts. Sorry, I'm trying to read this. The type is so small. Well, Razor Fist just thinks we are just customers buying a book. We were no help to him at all. I can't speak to that. I don't know. I haven't been following anything with that. But the thing is that, I did the piece for it and stuff like that. But I'd need some context. But I'm who knows. Let me see here. But yeah, it's interesting to me because I think that the independent space is, and doing this kind of work, the most fun aspect of it is the freedom to hang out, have conversations, and make the best work you possibly can. The best stuff that you possibly can. And, when I was looking at, what's I looking at today? I was looking at a lot of comics today. But I was looking at I was looking at a book that came out that John told me about the hardcover of, and I had not bought it. And I don't know if any of you guys know this stuff. Not only did I learn about this hardcover, but I learned about this guy's real name as a result of researching it. How many of you guys know Stone by Brian Haberlin and Whilce Portacio, I think it is, or Portacio. I hope I'm not... Portacio, I think? Here's the funny part. I always thought that Whilce was his name. Like, that was actually his birth name. And I learned recently that his real name is William, and Wills is his nickname. So now I'm wanting to pronounce it differently and call it Wills, which I did not know. Port of fine wine. Indeed. That's what his name is pronounced as. But yeah, so that's what his nickname is. And if you're a fan of this stuff, they still sell it. It's actually got a signatory and art page in it, which is really cool. But I didn't get anything like that. But it's wild to think of, even in the time. I remember going to conventions and when they were selling the preview book of this and seeing it, it was so much harder to get these things done. And so to see what we're able to do here, when I was looking at this and looking at Godlike at the same time, because they arrived at the same time, it's wild, Sammy. Oh, the betrayal. I feel like I'm missing this stuff. It's interesting that the technology enabled the resurgence of patronage. Yes. Yeah, hey, listen, guys. And, it's... what's the funniest part about all of this stuff? It's funny. I just think about what you guys are saying in the chat is that the economies of scale and the economics of it is the thing that I find the most fascinating, because you look at those, because I'm hand packing all of my orders, the numbers, it's a very physical thing, like how many boxes I have to order, how many pens I go through signing and doing head sketches and things like that. And I can't help but think that that's probably that's like what Image Comics went through in its early days, which is you don't realize how much there is to it until you find yourself doing it, and you try to prep as much as you can for it. But I can't imagine what those guys were doing, dealing with Diamond and how expensive printing was back then. I know some of you in the chat have Stephen Rockwood comes to mind, have bought the what do you call it, the old issues of Spring Ball. The printing cost for those versus what it is today, which is still a ton, because now the quality of Nosfero's printing is way better than what I did on Spring Ball, is so different. It's a wonder it was even remotely possible, with Diamond taking a massive cut. Like, it was ridiculous. This is the only way that the stuff I'm doing now would even be possible. It's the only way this stuff would be possible. And I guess maybe those of us who are in the chat, and not to throw shade at our younger members, welcome. But those of us who are older in the chat, this is crazy. This is so completely new. This is such a new way of doing things. And I think we kind of appreciate it more. The ability to reach out to creators, to actually see them making the work. This is unlike anything that we've ever seen before. And it's wild. And it's crazy to me to see somebody like, Son of Liberty Radio. And it's like, Son of Liberty Radio has become a channel member. And it's like, I feel like, it was funny. He goes, I thought, and I hope you're still here. I thought I had already become a channel member. And I remember thinking, and I thought you already were a channel member because I've known you for so long. The same thing goes with so many of you guys. I feel as though maybe it hasn't been that long, but it feels like I've known you guys for a very long time. It blows my mind, man. It blows my mind that you guys are here and we get to sit here and we get to make artwork. Do you know what I'm saying? So thank you, channel members, and thank you, Son of Liberty Radio, and thank all of you guys who are, veterans of the Waffle Lodge, which, those things, they'll come back every now and again. And, soon to be Pizza Live, all of my awesome, channel members who've been here. And also those of you guys who've been sending super chats and were here the first time I figured out, I'll have cheerleaders for the super chats, and built all that stuff out in the various intros that we go through. Yeah, it's a trip, guys. It's a trip, and it's appreciated. And for those of you guys who are going to look back and say, we were the backers. We were here when this book launched, and we were here for the Second Chance campaign when Shanth was still mailing all this stuff out. And that's the crazy part. That's what makes it so much fun to me. Yes, been overlooked it, been here since. I know, you've been here since Nosfero launched. I know. It's great. Thank you for being a channel member. And does that not blow your mind? It blows my mind. Random McRanderson, Randerson, God, my glasses. I seriously, am I gonna have to have my nose enlarged even more? This is getting ridiculous. This nose should cover it. It's 50-50 what they say about never meeting your heroes also bears, but sometimes you get a Shanth and sometimes you get a Matt Barr. Oh, cool. I'm glad. Hopefully you've had a good experience with both of us. Let me see here. One of those days I'm going to subscribe. You really ought to, Stephen Rockwood. You really ought to. Or Doug. Okay. Oh, yeah. That I definitely remember. I remember that. Yeah. Those were some days. Sleeping Psychopathy. Is the Second Chance campaign live already? The sign-up is going to go live on the 20th of May, so you can sign up. And then I'm going to be talking to the other Comics Gate Kings and Ethan and everybody to see if there's a better time to launch than other times, because I know that there's a couple of launches planned already on the schedule and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I've laid out the cover, and you know what's crazy about launching it, guys? And I know this is going to sound really funny, but I keep thinking that I have to paint the book when I think about launching it. And I just go, no. Like, you actually get to really focus on the campaign and not be painting and introducing yourself and doing all that stuff. Like, I'm going to work just as hard as I did before, but there's certain things I don't have to do, and my God, is it a relief. It is such a relief, but I feel that pressure. Mike likes tacos now. Oh, now I'm hungry for tacos, Mike, but God bless you. I like that you helped me remind me of how important tacos are in my life. I just want you to know I always doubted you. Artists need obstacles. You're welcome. Thank you very much. That was beautiful. Fogging up my glasses, man. Yeah. 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. That's how it feels. And hail tacos. God bless. Shanth, do a poster for number 2. Ooh, interesting idea. Yeah, I know. Guys, tacos. Come on now. That's a staple. Nice. I'm Mike, too, and I just talk. Yes, exactly. Taco Bell, indeed. Yeah, guys. Yeah, I mean, Taco Bell will do in a pinch. Taco Bell will absolutely do in a pinch. That was a staple. But man, yeah, we have a great restaurant up the way, and I love me some Mexican food. One of my favorite aspects of Mexican food, which is very tough to get up here, is the New Mexico style sopapilla. Is delicious, and I'm probably showing my Chattanooga with my love of fried floured dough. And I love me, by the way, as a universal food and an American tradition. I love me some funnel cake, people. I love me some funnel cake. Delicious. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I mean, I've just been living in this. Yeah, a.k.a. the John Malin run. You know what the thing is, too? Do you know what the thing is? If I may. Of all the... Oh, you're close to Chattanooga. What's the best thing to do for a trip there? Okay. Well, I would definitely... I know this is going to sound cliche. I would definitely see Rock City. The natural wonders of Rock City, they were a big influence on this little fantasy world that these two German immigrants created there of the old German fairy tales, and this path with the landscape is amazing. So yeah, go up to Lookout Mountain, see Rock City, see Ruby Falls. They're totally worth it. And ride the incline if it's still there. Those are my 3 favorite things to do there. And then also... yeah, think about hitting up downtown. You got to go check out the Chattanooga Choo Choo for sure. So yeah, go check that out. All of that stuff is great. All of that stuff is fantastic. But yeah, I have a special place in my heart for Rock City because as a kid who, loved fantasy, fairy tale, and all of that kind of stuff, it made that stuff come to life for me. And what an incredible view up there too from Lookout Mountain. Even the road up to it's crazy. I'm driving through Chattanooga on my way to North Carolina. Very cool, man. Let's see. Oh, yes. Portofino's Italian Greek restaurant in Chattanooga is good. Son of Liberty, where is that located? I'm going to look that up. Hold on. I just want to double check because I think I've eaten there. Hold on a second. I think I've eaten there. Oh, now. Hopefully I won't crash everything here, but I've got to know now. Now you've got me, where the heck is it? Oh, there it is. All right, let's see. Oh, here it is. Portofino's restaurant. There we go. Greek and Italian restaurant. Let me see. There are the photos. Where is it? What is the address? It is on... Oh, Ringgold Road. My God. Yeah, I've spent tons of time in that area. Yeah, let's throw that one into the mix. 100%. I was also going to say, if you go to the arts district that's on the water there, my wife's second, what do you call it? A second cousin at that point? But her late father's cousin owns all of the restaurants and all of the establishments there. And it's a really cool area, and it's right on the river. It's the arts district that they've got there, which is really nice. A very good friend used to own that restaurant. Who was this very good friend who used to own the restaurant? Can you drop their last name there in the chat or no? Don't put them out there if you don't want to. I only live 32 hours north of the Mexican border. Nobody here has had Mexican food. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, you have to take a vacation. Oh, I'm driving through North Carolina now, says Marcus. Excellent. Dave Matthews Band. There you go. And if you say Dave Matthews Band to people, they're going to have to listen to it. Ringgold Road. There it is. There it is. Yeah. Excellent. Oh, excellent. Agra Fiotis. So I had a Greek friend who had a restaurant in that area. The Petros, Tommy Petros was his name. And so I was wondering if there was any relationship there. But great Greek food. Timmy Mello, channel member, Rockstar. Welcome. Hopefully you've gotten a notification for your order. It should be in the mail. So let me know. Didn't see that there was a stream today. Yeah, you got to click that bell for notifications. They're making us work. And Cecil was talking about this the other night, that he's seeing people get unsubscribed. I'm seeing all this stuff. It's craziness. So if you think you're subscribed, click on that, just double check and click on it, because it is what it is. Oh, hi, bye, says Mr. Monkey Boy 1969. Mr. Monkey Boy 1969, is your order on the way? It should be. Let me know. Still at work, kinda. So I'm hoping that is on its way or got to you. I can't even remember at this point. If it's her father's cousin, then I believe it's a cousin once removed. There we go. Yep. Lived on and off with some friends in North Carolina. Would hike the Pisgah National Forest as much as possible. So beautiful. Yeah, I gotta tell you guys, I also like Greek food. Greek food is great. There's a pizza place that my wife and I love up the street, run by, it's a Greek gentleman runs the pizzeria. And the funniest conversation I ever had was I asked him if instead of black olives, he could put pitted Kalamata olives on my pizza and with the feta, because he has a Greek pizza there. And he said to me, "You Greek?" And I said, "No, but I love it." And he smiled and he took care of it for me. So yeah, much love to the Greeks, not only for ancient Greece, but everything else. The Hatbox Ghost, I love seeing it. Cam, the Haunted Mansion is a massive influence on Nosfero the Crypt Walker, as wild as that may sound. Cam, do you know where that is present? Where I showed my love of Haunted Mansion in Nosfero. I know you've been around. I know you know the things. Oh, you live in Charlotte. My gosh. That was my through. We'd land in Charlotte all the time. Heck, it's my wife's aunt's name is Charlotte, for heaven's sake. I'm thinking most channels are being not shown to subs, as once large view streams are down to 30 more. Yeah, that probably makes sense. You're actually probably right. But was I just asking? Yes, Cam, do you know where my biggest nod, and that there is a big nod to the Haunted Mansion in Nosfero? Let me know if you know. I've talked about it on stream, I think, but who knows? We'll have to see. And if any of you guys can guess in the chat, you're welcome to. But of course, the Hatbox goes to throwback. The Haunted Mansion, going on the Haunted Mansion on a special Disney World trip we took when my kids, I think, were maybe 7 or 8. I can't remember. And going to the Haunted Mansion with my son is one of my favorite memories I have of their entire childhood. It was so great. It was so fun. God bless all. Take care, John. Let me see. I'm thinking most channels. Okay, so let's see here. So John's heading out. All right, so now I'm going to tell you, Cam, and if you didn't know this, you're about to know it, my friend. So, and it's kind of obvious because it doesn't line up with anything really on the interior. So here you go. The cover architecture. This is the greenhouse top. It's a nod to the greenhouse top of the Haunted Mansion in Orlando, Florida, at Magic Kingdom. And this architecture here is also a part of the Haunted Mansion in the Magic Kingdom. So there's 2 nods in here in the background to the Haunted Mansion on the cover of Nosfero. So there you go, guys. Oh, yes, we have the Hatbox Ghost in there finally. There you go. So, yeah, I make lots of references to these things because, yeah, that's the stuff. I love Halloween so much. I love to celebrate it year-round in terms of it's just such an amazing thing. I love really well-done haunted houses. Big fan of the YouTube channel, The Grim Life Collective. There's so much stuff that is so cool about, that monsters and creatures and the Universal monster movies. And I'm so glad that my wife and kids not only indulge me in this, but they're also enthusiastic about all of it, which is great. My son is a big time Halloween fanatic. He does a lot of our decorations and things like that for Halloween outside. So yeah, he's super into it. Let me see here. I move this over there. And now it's starting to get together. Now we're starting to see that Cthulhu vibe happening in here. And what's funny too is that I wanted to create the monsters and the creatures of Lovecraft are so great. I wanted to create heroes that could go toe to toe with them. That is what Nosfero is. Nosfero is, in many ways, a heroic answer to the great character of Nosferatu and Dracula. Like if good had an antithesis to Dracula as a superhero, it would be Nosfero the Crypt Walker. That's what he is. And that's why the trailer and the first text in the book starting proper is a paraphrase of Nosferatu's intro text, but just changed to be something about a good character. You know what I mean? And that's the stuff that excites and inspires me, man. That's the stuff I love. But it's weird. The first thing that I think happens whenever you have any kind of art movement that's going on, and I think Comicsgate is going to go down as one of the great. It's the most relevant and important independent movement in comics and storytelling of this particular time. But I think it's going to go down as being incredibly significant. And the thing that's interesting is whenever these things start, there's almost I wouldn't say it's completely, but there can be little elements of there being a sort of like a house style to art. It's natural. Birds of a feather flock together. We all have this kind of passion for certain kinds of comics. But what has been the real testament to what makes Comicsgate so exciting is that you see a lot of different ideas and a lot of different cool projects coming out. And in some cases, you're seeing different kinds of projects come out from the same creator. So people are really spreading their wings now. Ferris Comics, channel member Rockstar, just checked my campaign contribution. 618, sigh, I have to be patient. Yes, and you know what's driving me crazy is those filler boxes. I was so desperate to get those because I'm really trucking along on it, but it's so frustrating. Oh, thank God you okay. Wow, Timmy. Oh, dear God, Timmy, what happened? Don't forget to count your blessings, guys. Long story short, the stairs to my second floor. What? Jeez. Let me try to start that over. Don't forget to count your blessings, guys. Long story short, the stairs to my second floor apartment collapsed as I was heading out to work and made it out with a few scratches rather than fall 15 feet. Oh, Timmy. That's a lot. That's a lot to process. I am so glad you are okay. That is terrifying. Good God. Yeah, people in the chat, very glad you're okay. Yeah. I need one of those. I do need one of those bots that reads it. Yeah. Yeah, seriously, Timmy, that is absolutely terrifying. Yeah, it was a miracle. It wasn't as bad as it could have been, and I credit that to the grace of God 100%. Yeah. I am so glad you're okay, Timmy. Seriously, yeah. That definitely made my heart sink. Between the medical scares of all of us have talked about in the chat and things like that, and John's poor sister, I hope she is recovering well from that insane bit of malpractice. Yeah, I seeing things like that. People are everything, People are everything. We used to say that to our kids all the time. If they accidentally broke something or something like that, we'd say, people are what matters, not the things. You'd rather have the people be okay. It's not about the things. And Yeah, hearing things like that. Timmy, I am so glad you are here, and I appreciate you being here so much, man. And I'm glad you're okay, because that's not something I want to imagine, is you not being all right. So there you go. Man, oh man. Yeah, so that's another blessing I shall count this week. My goodness. Yeah, I mean, it's why doing the uplifting stuff is so important. It's why doing the uplifting work is so important. You want to do work that gets people excited about life and appreciative. And, yeah, I mean, that's what we do here. That's what you guys help to do. And, Timmy, I can't imagine somebody more, inspiring to me in terms of that, bringing the positivity. Yeah, oh, my God, yeah, it is. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely right, man. Yep. I just got my Jack the Ripper, very cool, Vampire Hunter book from Mandy Summers in the mail. Yes, I got that one as well, and that was great. Yeah, Peter Gilmore is crushing it, man. He's doing some very cool stuff. A fellow art nerd, it seems, and I mean that in the best possible way. I saw, I was on the, the auction, on the Comicsgate auction on Ethan's channel, and he was showing some of his pencils, and those were beautiful. Those were some beautiful pencils that he does. I wasn't exactly sure what his process was, and as he was showing it, it was exciting, man. I like to see people's work process because I'm a nerd that way. I know I'm not alone. You guys are here, so you must enjoy some level of nerdiness and seeing somebody's work process. But man, oh man, Timmy, that that got me. That's gonna be hard to shake, Tim. that was a lot, man. I'm like, oh, thank God you're all right. So let's see here. Let's do this. There we go. Just have to rotate this around so I can get that mark where I need it to be. And we're gonna go back. Hopefully no one's motion sick. So this is, Cam, this piece right here. Oh gosh, my God. Fell 10 feet once and I was banged it pretty good. Yeah, I can imagine. My God. Yeah, it's dangerous. Not me over here and my natural reaction to laugh at the time I get hurt. Yeah, I do that too. Yeah, I did that too. What is this piece for? So this piece right here is just me getting in some work on the Nosfero 2 book. So this is the first page of Nosfero 2. It's going to introduce, which is, by the way, the best pun ever to be able to say Nosfero 2. But Nosfero 2 is going to be titled Nosfero Death Will Die. And it is a very cool, uplifting sort of story in the vein that you would expect. But the stakes, that's kind of funny considering it's vampires. The stakes get higher and more plentiful. And you get to see into the realm from which all of these creatures are coming from. And a hero that is trapped inside of there on the other side. So when I talk about where the creatures try to come in through the door, it's this page right here that shows what I'm talking about. So that's a doorway that's open for a sacrifice. You can see the monster on the other side. So this is inside what's inside of that door, and this is a vision and essentially by way of dream. This is a vision that Laurel is having of this character that's in there. So it's going to be a really cool. It's going to be very, it's going to be very Frazetta, very. I don't want to give too much away. It's just going to be really cool. You guys are going to like it. Lots of cool creatures and monsters and villains. And you can actually see, come to think of it, I've shown this before, but I started work at the same time, or shortly before I started this, on the cover to Nosfero 2. And so that is going to be our new, not our new big baddie. Our big baddie is always Amun al-Hazared. But this guy is kind of his own sort of splinter group. And this is my interpretation, though it doesn't have the exact same name, of Dracula. So he's got the same, this is what I would do with Dracula. So I showed you guys what my idea of Nosferatu would be. This is my Dracula. So, and this is the world and the characters and the things we're going to be seeing in the book. And so lots of Laurel, lots of Nosfero, and some changes to some characters that you know in terms of what they went through in the first book. So it's going to be some cool stuff. Let me see here. Marcus says, I was pulled off a telephone pole by a car running over the wire. Oof! I shattered my drawing wrist, broke my left leg, and severely bruised my hips. Marcus, my God, man. Holy cow. When was this? I feel like you were talking about this injury at some point. or you had referenced back to it at some point. I think I remember you bringing this up. I think that was the page you showed while painting that pushed me to buy those. Oh, wow. Very cool. I'm so glad to hear that. I love that page with the 10. Yes. Yeah. That was a page that I was like, I've got to make sure I show this page. It was designed for that. So I'm glad it worked. Fell down some stairs and hurt my, rotator cuff. Yeah, I've got that. You ever notice that when you talk about rotator cuff, people always reach for the one they've injured? Oh, man. I fell 5 feet off a log and got a hairline fracture in my foot that put me in bed for a month. Yeah, breaking your foot ain't no fun. Did you see the Swamp Thing piece by Peter Gilmore I posted? I think I did. Did you post that on X? I think I did, and it was awesome. It's great. I got the Bernie Wrightson Swamp Thing or Bernie Wrightson DC Artist Edition that had the Swamp Thing stuff in it, and that is an outstanding character to draw. Love that character. I'm okay. I don't like to stand for a long time. Yeah, and I fell stand for a long time, and I fell the wrist, but I can do everything and still draw. Thank God. That's great. Yeah, because Bernie Wrightson. People always asked why his work changed after he did Frankenstein, and the big reason why his work changed was because it was the simplest thing in the world. But in a sense, he was walking and he slipped on the ice and put his drawing hand out to break his fall. It's why I tell people it's, you got to be careful when you're up where or out where it snows and things get slippery. And because he didn't, the doctors didn't do what they, didn't. I guess he just didn't get it fixed or get it looked at. He told some story, but it healed funny, so he can't hold his hand the way he's always held his hand after that. And I just thought, my God, it's craziness. Oh, I'm a physical therapist. Let me know if you need any work. I will teach you how to torture yourself. Yeah, listen, thank you. Physical therapy work is incredibly important. You know what I was watching the other day? This may seem somewhat unrelated, but I was watching, how people capture orangutans for the, to keep as pets. And usually they'll kill the mother orangutan, and it's rough. Well, they rescued a baby orangutan with a severely broken wrist and arm. Like it seemed like it was fractured or something. I forget exactly what the injury was. And just like with us, funny enough, like they had a woman who was working with this baby orangutan doing physical therapy. And what's funny about them is that they don't cry and carry on as much as you would think, right? Probably as a survival thing. But what they definitely do is something that human beings do a lot of. This baby orangutan, when they started working on its arm, it went like this. It looked away. It got quiet and was like, not looking. And I was like, oh my God, in those moments, right? Yeah. Now, the fall is now 7 or 8 years ago. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know, I'm sure you're still feeling it, but I'm glad your drawing hand's okay. Yeah, thank goodness Marcus Keller grew. Not so much about the injury, but on retaining your drawing ability. Yeah, 100%. Yep. Man, you missing out, Emo. As young kids, we jumped bikes off of ramps. Oh, yeah, we slid down garage doors. We did so many terrible things. Shanth Enjeti, #1 streamer amongst crash test dummies. You're right. Seriously. This crew, man. This crew, we know. We definitely know those falls. That goes without saying. Yeah, oof. My goodness. Yeah, I love the thing that's so fun about all of this painting, guys, is I love seeing this stuff come to life as we work. I love to see and to show you guys the process. It's everything I do. Like when I'm working on Eric's painting for Battle Brick Road 2, again, the link is in the description, guys, or Michael Bancroft's painting, link is in the description for the Lucent 2 Painted Death. The thing about all of this stuff is that a lot of times I will do sketches to sharpen my brush, to roll my brush around and just to get loose before I work. Same thing goes with head sketches and books. And so when I'm working on this, the painting or the sketch I call Shin Glorious Rex, it's just a fun thing I'm doing because Shane is a fellow fight fan and a fellow kaiju fan. And I think I've talked to him about that before, just in general, like about, I'm sure we've covered it on a stream. And it's really, it's fun to show your enthusiasm with artwork of the stuff that we're doing here, even if it's wildly off model, but that was the fun of it. Cause I know he loves Shin Godzilla. I know he loves all that stuff. And the same thing goes with, when I'm trying to sharpen brushes. If I have an idea, which I'm reluctant to do because I'm usually just working on jobs and packing books, I'll start to just work on sketches, and that is how this whole thing came together. And it's just, it's you just kind of, you sketch and you come up with things, and you'll find a way to figure out what it's for. But you do, it's a weird thing, at least it seems to me, that what I love to do to relax is also what I do for work. And so I will sometimes draw and paint and work and work and work, and I'll be completely exhausted. And then I'll go, okay, I got to draw to relax a little bit. It's really weird. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my version of it is going to be much more Ninja Turtles, because that's the stuff I love, man. Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to to getting these books out there and getting the main thing is, of course, I've got the Second Chance campaign on this is the next thing, and that's what's going to help. We just put the money forward to family being able to live, art supplies, and the next books. That's all we're doing, is we're doing these campaigns to get these and keep these books in print, keep these books out there, because I was actually surprised, but nothing surprises me because I think Comicsgate's kind of continued to grow, and so has the space. How many people missed the chance to get the book? And then of course I've got backers who wanted me to do the artist or the art only edition of the book. So we're having fun this year with this stuff, and I'm gonna keep bringing some cool stuff to this channel. I've got so many things I'm working on, and when stuff comes up where I have to plan the schedule because the package I was expecting from Gemini didn't arrive this week, I just got to reset and do something else that needs to get done. And that's the key to what we do here. And just keep working on, all it is just the grind of hand control and practice, practice, practice. And I mean, I love writing comic book stories. I love telling stories in the Nosfero world. I can't stop imagining cool things for you guys, and things I want to do on this channel and things I want to produce, because the hardest thing has always been, how do you meet the audience before YouTube, before streaming, before being able to put this stuff out there? That was always the most difficult thing, and now it's changed. It's still, you still got to find the audience, but it's at least you're able to reach out to them, which is cool. Now that the book is done, hopefully you'll have more people wanting to order it for yes, exactly, for a short lead time. You're right. Yeah, that's why I think that that's why when I think about the backers who back this book, the more of these that I package and get out, the more humbling it is for me. Because I just go, these guys gave money for art to exist. They donated this money, and they said, we don't know you. We like what we've seen thus far, and we like the book, and we want this to have a chance to exist. And we hope you're willing to do a fully painted comic book. It's wild to me. It's wild to me. And I was telling my wife about the Airwolf thing that happened that Retro Blasting was talking about. My wife goes, I can't imagine just going, whoops, sorry, it's not happening. Because we just, by hook or by crook, we're going to find a way to get these books done and to get these things out there, of course. But I understand it. I've backed some projects that, I don't know if they're still coming out. I don't know what's going on with them. And, I'm one of those fire and forget people when it comes to backing projects. I back it based on the art, the imagination that I see. And I understand that there's risk involved. But I do like this. I would rather bet on artists, but at the same time, I'm completely humbled. I don't know why. It's easier for me to do than it is for me to sometimes to process how many of you guys have supported Nosfero and made this thing come to life. It's so cool. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. And Shanth Enjeti Art is, it's the place where we can come and hang out and do what we do and do this work. And so is Comicsgate. And I'm so grateful because, again, I know a lot of you guys were there in the early days. Like myself, I'm so grateful that they had the courage to do this and to then make it something that other people could become a part of and participate in, because it's wild. I mean, really, I was looking at there's a book that's coming out soon. My wife actually said to me, she goes, I got a warning on, is this your purchase? But I'm pretty sure it's yours because it was like Orlock Press, and it was for the why am I blanking on this? Kelly Jones Dracula book. And I guess the charge had just gone through. Those things are possible because of this space. Like there's art that wouldn't exist without this space. I don't know if any of you guys back that, but it looks really cool. This past Labor Day, I somehow fell in my shower. Oh gosh, that's not good. Hitting the funny bone ain't funny, no doubt. Ugh. Yeah, now I'm thinking Airwolf theme. I love the Airwolf theme, so you're welcome. You're welcome on the Airwolf theme. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, isn't that cool? I'm telling you, it's a great. It's weird, guys. I missed that entire time period of comics, so I wasn't reading Nightfall. I wasn't reading any of that stuff. I knew the character Bane existed, but I wasn't following any of the work that was being done around it. And so when I first saw Kelly Jones's work, it was on covers, it was on Batman, but I didn't know that he was really influenced by Bernie Wrightson until I saw that art only or black and white gallery edition DC did. And I went, this guy is amazing. So it's pretty exciting that he's doing an independent book with Matt Wagner. Dracula book, nonetheless. How cool is that? See if I can get that over the target there. There we go. All right, just gotta double check. I don't have too much wet paint there. But it's weird to think about for those of you guys who've got Nosfero, and for those of you guys when you get it who are still waiting on it. I want you to imagine when you're looking at the book, this process being every single page in the book. What you're watching here is how that book was built. And it was done in InDesign, it was done in Photoshop with color correcting for the printers and things like that, because everything has to get scanned in. And then it's me with my paintings next to the computer screen trying to make sure the colors are right with the print files. And, it's a proof copy of the book, and then realizing, okay, I've got to move everything this color. But it all happens here, and you guys have watched it come to life. And that's happening for, I'm sure, every creator in this space is doing that, It's crazy. It's crazy the amount of work. Let me just see here. My glasses just fell off again. I just got my backer kit confirmation email from Wagner and Jones's Dracula a few minutes ago. Very cool. Yeah, they must be doing something today. I don't know what that is, but it's very cool. Yeah. It's a very, we're bringing the art back to comic books. And if you start thinking about every story as being something that is going to be evergreen, and it's not just a throwaway issue, that's what I think I'm definitely doing this with Nosfero, and I know that all the other creators seem to be doing this as well, is that you really get the sense of you're making a book. And I think that Dracula book is being done with that mentality. And I bet you it's going to be some of Kelly Jones's best work, and that is something, because he's got quite a legacy of doing great work. So, yeah, amazing stuff. So everybody seems like they're starting to bring their A game. We've got a lot of amazing artists who have not lost their capacity to make great work. They've just lost the place to do it. And crowdfunding seems to be like it's the place to do it, because everybody has ideas, but the craft and the skill to do something that is going to capture an audience is the thing that is really needed. And I think that one of the things that's been really cool is the way that people like Ethan in the Comicsgate space have worked tirelessly to get a lot of these older creators who were new to this space or who had tried this space but didn't understand the YouTube promotion aspect of it, to be able to make money and to be able to get their work out there to an audience. And, as somebody who I've worked in education for 20 years, and working at places like Rhode Island School of Design and other colleges and New England colleges in the area, I've always had to kind of stay up to date on technology, but age is not a guarantee that you're going to remember or that you're going to know how to use certain tech. And I feel very fortunate that I'm able to both talk and paint, but also that I know the technology to make it happen. What's up, Real Sean Crummel? How are you doing, sir? Your art, oh, thank you so much. Your art is so good, and I want to make comics and be a friend. Well, that is done and done. There you go. Let me see here. I'm thinking some people make one book and either don't want to do another or just don't have the passion for their creation to put in much more work. You know, it's, yeah, that's a good point. Falling somewhere on the line of all the tech change, it's been wonderful seeing the uses change over time to get here. Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right. I got a backer kit confirmation for Top Cow's Darkness collection. Very cool. They still can't tell me how much it will cost to ship to Canada. Too much, I'm sure. Yeah, shipping has been crazy. Yeah, cops are coming to get me, as always. You know that, channel members. I got my Snowman shipment notification. Oh, I cannot wait for that. Can't wait to read that one. Yeah, Snowman is one of the most anticipated books for me. I'm really excited about the premise. I'm really excited about that it's a much more adult-themed book because I like the kind of edgier stuff. I think that's why what draws me, there's certain creators that you have in this space that are, you know, colleagues, dare I say, in this space whose work you get drawn to, and sometimes it can be thematic primarily. And I love, you know, so many of the people I'm around's artwork, but John Malin seems like is interested in pushing the envelope with outlaw comics and things like that in a very different way than me. But it's the pushing the envelope that I love. That's the stuff that makes it fun. And I think that Snowman is very much the same way. I think that what that book is about again, that kind of creative freedom and just being able to push things a little bit more. You know, I love independent comics for that reason. I remember when the Image stuff was coming out, and it seems completely PG-13 now, but I'd look at it and I'd go, whoa, I can't believe they're doing that. And that was fun. You know, it's crazy. I got into this massive fight and survived. Here's my battle scar. That's right. Yeah, I had to pass on land and sea due to shipping. Oh, okay. It was more than the book. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Speaking of that, because this was a wild thing. I got this, I ordered this anatomy book from 3D Total in England, and it was a reasonable price. And then when I got the shipping charge for it, this was a couple of months ago, the shipping cost was more than the book. And I was like, wow. I think the book was like $45 and the shipping was like $45 or something like that. And it's a great book. And then it came, and I think it'd be the same if I ordered it again, so I didn't bother them with it. But the corner was smashed in on that book. It's a hardcover, and it was like it had a smashed corner on it. And it all the way through the book, too. And I was like, ugh. But yeah, shipping is a killer. It's probably one of the hardest things about all this, is trying to figure out how to do this stuff so that, you know, as creators, you don't lose your shirt and you don't totally price people out. But that's why you're seeing a lot of people not doing international orders to as many places anymore. And so I'm always talking about that because it's a tough, you know, the missus and I are always trying to figure out how to make this stuff work or make sense, I should say, and work. There we go. Yeah, this is coming along now. Let's take a look at this. Let's zoom out a little bit here. There you go. There you go. Look at the tension that's going to be happening here. Is going to be really, really fun on this piece. Yeah, fear not, represent to the rescue. There you go. Yeah, shipping. Everybody in Canada has been telling me that lately, man. And that's a crazy thing. Yep. Yeah, it's craziness. Yeah, I always feel like I've got this special connection with Canada, right? Because of my love of Todd McFarlane, who I know lives in Phoenix, but I know his family, a lot of his family's up in Canada, and he's a Canadian in a sense, even though he's born in California. But yeah, it's tough, you know, it's really frustrating. But my brother Stephen Rockwood, first channel member in Canada, I love my folks. Yeah, simple export rate from pirate ship. Every crowdfunder should be using it. Yes, my wife and I were talking about that the other day. Shane told me about it, and I'm like, I've got to do that. Like, we're gonna switch to that as soon as we finish. We put money on what's it called? There we go. We put money on whatever the other big one is. My brain is stamps.com, and we're switching to pirate ship as soon as we can. Cam, it's sad to me that shipping costs today force many to consume comics digitally. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Oh, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah. Um, yeah, exactly. As a moron and had to reset twice due to formatting. Yes, there you go. For making comics are not for the faint of heart. Amen. Yeah, Pirate Ship. I hear nothing but good stuff about it. The Trade Federation has gone too far this time. We're back at episode 1. I'm telling you. Critical Blast seemed decent. There you go. Let me see here. I don't think global wars are hurting shipping from the USA to Canada. Yeah, right. That is true. That is true. Oh my gosh. It's the Trade Federation. The Phantom Menace was right. The Phantom Menace was right. Hashtag that, folks. Yeah, so let's just go over real quickly everything we're working on right now. So this is a piece for Nosfero 2, but we're not going to be seeing this for a little bit of time, although I might have the cover at some point as a stretch goal. The cover for Nosfero 2 be a stretch goal for the Second Chance campaign for Book 1. Also working on for the great Eric Weathers, a painting for his print book for Battle Brick Road 2. The link is in the description. If you have not backed Battle Brick Road 2, please do. The same thing could be said. The same thing could be said for the Lucent 2, Painted Death by Michael Bancroft. There's going to be, this painting will be available as a part of one of his campaigns in the not too distant future. I think it is one of the most complicated and best paintings I've ever done. In addition to all of that, we are always doing artwork here around the clock, folks. We're always trying to make this stuff fun and entertaining. And so this right here is an idea for a project called the Monster Rat Kin of Thulu. And I'm playing around with this. I have no idea what it's for, but it's something I do on breaks to unwind or to sharpen up some brushes. And so this is me working on that. And then at the same time, if you were watching me on a stream the other day, I was doing this sketch right here, which I call Shin Glorious Rex, which is a shout out to Shane. Shane's book, Inglorious Rex 2, is, I believe, still available. And 3 is the sign up for 3 happening. My brain is pudding right now, guys. I appreciate you guys in the chat for helping me remember how my brain works. But I was having fun with this because we both, Shane and I both love Shin Godzilla and frankly Godzilla in general. So I thought it'd be really funny to put a giant Shin Godzilla style Inglorious Rex with Alex plugged in at the top there. For those of you guys who know your Inglorious Rex lore, riding it into battle and just having a lot of fun with that. My little love of the kind of Darrow-esque detail I used to be into and still am kind of into in college. So when you guys know this about Nosfero is, I love my detail. So again, guys, if you're still waiting for Nosfero, it is on its way. I'm getting shipping supplies in. I'm still waiting for those so I can get the books out there. Most of them are on their way or out there. And but you know, if you haven't gotten yours yet, don't panic. Don't panic. You'll get a confirmation email when you get it in the shipping tracking number. But this is what we do it for. The Second Chance campaign for this book, if you missed it with a little different logo, is going to be called the Oxidized Edition. Might have some minor changes on the inside to it. Is going to be coming soon, as well as the art-only edition of this book. So if you want to have just the paintings as well as the story, then you're going to be able to get that. So we're having a lot of fun here in Comicsgate, guys. There's going to be some great streams tonight, so do keep your eyes and ears peeled. And again, links to books and active campaigns by friends of mine are in the description. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for making Nosfero possible. Thank you for making what I'm doing here possible. Yeah, let's make the Second Chance campaign a big hit so that we can keep doing this and I can keep making this stuff happen. That's the joy of it. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for bringing the passion for pulp to the game here. And we're just going to keep doing what we do, guys. So I appreciate you guys very, very much. I'll have to update my channel member credits for Son of Liberty Radio, who's going to be there. Thank you so much, Real Sean Crummell. I appreciate it. Yes, indeed. Everybody have a wonderful Friday. I salute you, sir. Gen X Catholic. It is great to see you. Glad you're okay, Timmy Mello. And, yeah, lame indeed. Yeah, and check out Inglorious Rex 2 will be available on 9 Lives Comics after the campaign fulfillment. Sign up. For 3 is live. Yes, so make sure you sign up for Inglorious Rex. Mark's Music Obsession. Yeah, 3 days till sign up. It is going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. Simply Green, take care. My channel members, it's great to see you. Auf Wiedersehen. Comrade Sammy, vielen Dank. And au revoir. I will see you guys very, very soon. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will catch you guys on another stream. Make sure you've liked. Make sure you've subscribed. Make sure you hit that bell so people know where we are at. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Enjoy the credits, and I will be updating them with Son of Liberty soon. Be safe indeed. And you too, Timmy Mello, and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And Cranberry Langers, as always, my brother, let me just say, ciao to you as well. Take care, guys. I will see you guys soon.